All right, we are live. I'm representing the Baxter Company, and Nick. Say hi, Nick.
How's it going, guys?
Okay, there's Nick. Nick is representing Local 190 in these contract negotiations. So, Nick, you understand, as I come from the management side of Baxter, we're looking at having to lower the wages.
I understand that you guys might want to, but I don't know if we can do that. In fact, with profitability over the last few years, I'd say that we in fact need to raise the wage a little bit. Also, just due to loyalty from workers and everything, there's been a lot of good work coming on our end, and we've stayed profitable while other companies have kind of taken a fall.
Okay, well, I can understand where you're coming from, but as we look at a business side of things, here's what we got to consider. If we don't lower costs, here's what's going to happen. So because our competitors have lowered their pay wages, it's expected that their cost of goods are going to go down because they don't have to charge as high, which puts us at a very unfair disadvantage. And if we lose all business then because we can't get any sales, then everyone's out of a job. So in order to try to stay competitive, we've got to cut costs. And I understand there's ways of doing that with higher efficiency, cost of goods in general going down. But a part of that and a big part of our costs are the wages that we pay.
Yeah, and I get that. At the end of the day, though, I don't think cutting the wages out from underneath the workers is the right way to do it. Like you said, there are other ways to cut costs. I think, obviously on our side, we'd like raises for, the work that we put in, time that we put in. But at the end of the day, we can't go below what we're currently at. I think you'll see a lot of, disruption in the employee environment. Morale is going to drop.
Again, I understand where you're at, but right now, if things don't change, it's plain and simple. We're going to be having to lay people off. Then we're not going to be able to stay in business. We've already seen several companies shut their doors in the last couple of years because of not being able to keep up with it. And that's what we're going to be faced with. I understand you see our high profitability numbers, but within a matter of months, that will change significantly when all of a sudden our sales plummet because our competition is so much cheaper than us.
Yeah, I could see that.
So here's our proposal. Again, we've worked well over the years, and I don't want to hang the whole Me Too clause. Okay, I don't want to hang that over your guys' heads. And in an effort to show our respect to you, okay, our proposal is if we did that Me Too clause, the average of the three businesses at the highest rate and all that, you'd be looking at 867, which would be a significant drop. That'd be over $2 cut in pay. So what we're willing to do, our highest competitor right now, they're currently paying their employees $9. That $9 rate is what we've also extended to our other plants. We'd be happy to extend that same offer to you guys. In addition to that, within 1 year, we'll have you back at $10. Hopefully business continues to improve, and if so, we can look at continuing to raise as we've done in the past. But for the time being, that's our offer on the table.
And I just don't think we can go that low. As good as our relationship's been throughout the years and as much success as we've brought you guys, I just think it would be a detrimental blow to our employees to, undercut them so much after all that they've done. Really, their work ethic and their productivity is what's really made this plant stand out and what's made it as successful as it's been. We'd be willing to, at the end of the day, I still think we have to stand firm on where we're at. We can forget the raise, but I don't think we can go below that 1069 range. I think that's where we have to stand firm. Sounds like a broken record player, huh?
Yeah, it does. Well, it's just because I'm looking at numbers. It's just like we're going to be out. We're going to close our doors in a year then.
So is that, if that's what you're looking at, I mean, we might be open to more of, I mean, maybe a meet in the middle situation. If you guys are looking at a close your doors situation, maybe we meet more at like, 10. And maybe within a year, if productivity continues, we jump back up to where we were. Or maybe we have the opportunity to prove ourselves and earn that increase up to 11, where we'd like to be.
Let me throw some numbers out to you. Okay. So we know that cost of goods is the best way to cut costs, right? We know that our competitors have cut their costs, their labor costs, by 40%. So that means they're going to be able to drop their costs. Their profit margin is probably going to go down by almost 10% of what they're currently at. So if they do that and we drop you by $1, that means we dropped our labor costs by 10%. They're going to smash us in competition, meaning we get no business. So dropping $1 is not going to be enough for us to make that kind of difference in the immediate future.
I can see where you're coming from. It's a tough situation.
Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for your sake. We need to stay in business right now. So, a pay wage is better than no pay wage. And unless you guys all have plans, we pay a fourth of the checks in our town come because of us. That's going to significantly hurt our little town if we don't keep people working.
Yeah, it's true. I still go back to the fact that, if productivity drops, you guys are, as a company, are going to see that much more of a impact on, yeah, we may drop the wage a little bit, but we're also going to see a giant impact in the workers' morale and everything. And, that might at the end of the day be a bigger loss than just leaving it at, say, 10. It's already a drop.
I'm fine working with management. When it comes to taking care of our guys and being there to pick them up when they're down, help them when they're tight, when the pennies are tight, we've been there before. We will continue to help our guys. We will make sure our guys are taken care of. We see each other at church. We see each other at the grocery stores. And when it comes down to helping people out, that's what we do. And we'll continue to take care of one another. So right now, if we don't take care of this as a whole, then our whole city is going to be hurting here shortly.
So what about this? I know a while ago we had a process in place where when we, had, how do I say this? When we were productive enough for the day to basically fill a full day, even if it had only been, say, 4 hours of the day, and we filled basically an 8-hour workday. If we decide to stay on work as a team, fill the rest of the day, we can make up to 100% in excess money, wages. What if we brought that bonus system back and the base wage drops a little bit more? So you guys have to see the productivity on our end to make it worthwhile for you, but the base wage is where you guys want it to be. But my guys know they still have the opportunity to make what they're making. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm open to something like that. Yeah, so when I look back on previous contracts that we've had, this last time we cut that incentive program altogether.
Sure.
And that was the margins were really steep on that before, on our end, not your end, on our end. So if I understand this where you're coming from, you're saying if we brought that back within reason of a moderation.
Yeah. Well, I agree. Maybe 100% excess for a work shift is a little too high, but we bring it back into moderation where, we can do something with it.
So, here's some numbers for me to throw out there. Since we've changed this system, your productivity has gone up by 20%. We're still slightly below the national average, but it's already shown it's improved. So I'll make you this offer. If we're going to do that, then agreed. I need to see more productivity in order to try to reach something. So I'm willing to offer for the $9 per hour for that first until we reach our limit. Anything over that, and I'd be happy to pay at the 1069.
Okay. What if we made the cap on that? If productivity is high enough, what if we made the cap 11.50 an hour? And that's the cap of where they can get to. So they know they can get a little bit more if they work that much harder. Maybe squeeze an extra, 10 to 15% of productivity out of them.
The cost of our goods are not going down based on that.
Don't think so.
No.
Okay. $11.
It's not going up. I'll tell you that right now. We cannot afford to go up.
Okay, I can settle at 1069 as long as they have the chance to get there.
Okay, but so then the base pay is $9.
There's the $9 base, but they have the chance to get to 1069.
Yes, and they have to reach our goals, which, and so we'll map out our goals. Right now, we're at 95% of the national average. So if we're gonna match, I want 100% to match. Anything over that, I will then pay 1069.
I think that's fair. I mean, it makes sense. But at least they know they have the chance to make what they're making currently.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Call it good from there.
Okay.
So, okay, let me hang on. I got to. All right, so Jeremy, Kayla, you guys are aware of what that is then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm trying to think if there was anything more I needed to add to that.
So we just need to essentially write down the number, the $9 base plus essentially base plus commission, as long as they're able to perform.
Yeah, so give me just 1 second. So yeah, so what that is, it's you're guaranteed $9 an hour, and you have the opportunity to make up an extra 15% by going over and beyond to get to max out your pay at 1069.
That I think is fair.
So that's the numbers for what we have right now. So all right, and so now after that, that's when we read the 1985 negotiation. I think we all, what's interesting, you guys have yours and we have ours, but nonetheless, we're going to all talk about it together.
So are we essentially just reading the 1985 of yours? You guys are reading the 1985 of ours?
No, I think you're still reading your local 190 portion, and we're reading the Baxter side. Because I do believe they're different. Or so I think.
I think it's all just one document, actually.
Is it?
I think so. If it's the one that.
Let's see.
Oh, wait, actually, no. It's different.
I'm just going to pull mine up. I want to make sure I'm reading the right thing here so I don't read the wrong thing.
Yeah, so you guys have your own, and we have ours, and then we'll kind of come together again afterward and come up with one final contract altogether.
So this is just under the Baxter Corp 1985 negotiations.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
And
then
you got the union. Yeah.
Perfect.
And then so as soon as you're done, just chime in. And then we'll begin just commute. And then this last part is as the entire group. So Kayla and Jeremy, you'll be participating in this one again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. Enjoy reading.
All right. Said no one ever. I think I'm good whenever.
Oh, sorry, I'm still going.
Oh, no worries. No worries. All good. Take your time.
I'm set. How you guys doing?
Good, good.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
you good as well. Wait, was that everyone?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Kayla's all set. Okay.
So is this portion of it again us versus you on it?
I think so, but this time Jeremy can chime in with me and Kayla can chime in with you.
I mean, I guess it's probably, yeah, just open negotiation then. Cool.
Yeah, give me just a second.
No worries.
Okay.
So are we allowed to be pretty open with each other about it? Like exactly where we're at and exactly where you guys are at?
In my opinion, I say yes, because if we're on as common ground and if we are as comfortable as we are,
Yeah.
then I would think we could, try to find the middle ground as quickly and easily as possible.
I mean, honestly, that might be the best way. Maybe just you guys want to like sum up where you're at.
Okay.
We can kind of try and sum up where we're at.
All right, so here's where we're at. With the way the new plant's running, we take on. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Hang on. Hey, excuse me, quiet. I let my dogs in and they're going nuts. I can't hear.
It's all good.
Go on. Okay. So, all right. So with the way this new plant is running, it's really, really difficult for us to measure, trying to set quotas and stuff, which makes it really difficult for us to like offer an incentive plan because all of a sudden our quotas change from day to day, and a lot of times they're not measurable. And so for us to try to come up with a incentive plan is really, really difficult. So that takes it out of us. One of the things that, or I guess two of the things that we offer that we'd still very much support, we offer a really good benefits plan, which I think you guys continue to appreciate. Holidays off and stuff like that.
And that's still like the 52-week notice, right, and everything like that.
That's not a part of it. I'm talking just benefits, which is where is that at? That is in the 1978. It talks about in that one. I don't know if that was in yours or not. It just talks about how, where is my papers? 78. There we go. So all it says, the benefits package received, which includes holidays, vacations, rest periods, paid meals, overtime and holiday pay, and health and retirement benefits, is based on the industry norms as determined by the pattern set in earlier bargaining. So anyway, like we feel confident in our ability to continue to provide that. But I guess some of our concerns moving forward, because like I'm sure the union wants more control, and so like our concern would be who's over hiring the process, because you guys have shown some frustrations on how like the number of people getting hurt, who's getting hired, at the same time potential layoffs. We are starting to feel the pinches of the pressure, and so we're no longer comfortable with the whole 52-week layoff. But some room for us to work with too is we realize you guys want your pay to be secured at least back to the 1069, and that is something we're willing to consider. It's all subjective to the amount of control we have as a company as opposed to what you guys have.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I mean, on our end, basically what I saw, and Kayla, if you have any other things that you want to throw in there that I might forget, basically I saw that, I mean, it almost seemed like employees were kind of brimming at the edge, kind of for strike right now.
Yes.
Which, I mean, isn't great for anyone. But basically just because I think their current wage right now is like isn't it like $8.79 or something like that?
Well, it's one of two things. It's either the wage we agreed, which is the $9, which our wage we agreed last time is the $9 with the opportunity. So we actually talked about an incentive plan, which apparently was not supposed to ever be negotiated.
Okay.
But I wasn't given that directive.
Yeah, no, and I'm just going off kind of what I read.
Right. Yeah. So if we didn't have a price, they did do the one clause, which averaged out to 867.
Yeah. So I mean, right now that seemed like it was one of the bigger issues for the employees, and then as well, I guess management. It seemed like employees felt like almost like they were being micromanaged by supervisors. Like they felt like over, or in the past when they just had kind of their line, people on the line watching out for each other and kind of managing how it went as an everyday process. They felt like it was smoother and there were less injuries. I mean, was that kind of the same thing you saw as well, Kayla?
Yeah.
And we have some of that on our end as well.
Yeah, basically, there was a lot of the injuries were caused by people just not, the production was, or management was setting like the rate of how fast, I guess, production should go. And the workers, it was basically saying that workers know better how fast it should go and how productive and how it will lead to more productivity. But their supervisors are the ones that they went to, and that was causing a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And then the people that were getting trained off the bat were getting, I forgot what it said, something about not, they're just kind of like immediately exposed to all the problems.
It was,
I
yeah,
I saw that.
I remember something like that. It was almost like it was too quick and they were immediately exposed to everything. I forget exactly.
Well, and we had something similar in ours. Talked about how management wasn't training them. We had you guys training them, which any problems and stuff you guys had, you immediately shared with them, which kind of brought on a negative mindset to them. And then any of you guys who yourselves were not yet comfortable with the new equipment, trained them to the best of your ability, but wasn't up to par, and that led to a lot of injuries.
Right.
Yeah.
So definitely, and I definitely agree with that. Like, that has to change. We'll have a different hiring and training process to make sure that they're adequately trained.
One thing that was suggested in ours, I don't know if it was suggested in yours, was layoffs wise and rehiring or hiring just in general. There's a suggestion made that the first people we should look at for rehire would maybe be those that got laid off in the first place, just because it would cut down on training costs and getting them back into it all. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's a part of the old contract.
Yeah.
Which and that's like some of our concerns too, though. As we get new technology and some of these old guys are not comfortable with that, then we're not sure we want to bring them back on. We'd rather bring on new blood to train them in the new ways with the new system at the new wages and save that, which obviously is not something you guys want. But that's something we consider as we try to grow and move forward and kind of establish the way we want the new plant to really be up and running.
Yeah, I mean, from the sounds of things, it needs to be like beneficial on both ends for sure. It needs to make sense. I don't know. So I mean, I think the wage was definitely one thing that we wanted in ours. Let me see here. Safe work environment, reasonable income, and job security were three of the biggest things I had seen. Our side of it all.
So we agree on fixing the safety and trying to get it better so that it's more safe for everyone.
Yeah.
When it comes to the hiring and layoff procedures, we really want to take control on the hiring and have control over that. We're willing to, if we have to lay off, to let you guys control that more and have more say in who gets laid off and who gets to stay. But we want the hiring procedures because we need to fill our company with people who are going to help make it grow and develop.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know what you think of that, Kayla. I think that's fair for sure.
I think it is fair to kind of just slowly implement it, but if you're just gonna, lay off all of the people that have been there forever, you'll see it won't be a very easy transition between trying to train all these new people into your new ways, because all these old people have all of the, they really know the plant. Even if it's a new plant, they still just know the business. They know the company. They have been loyal and hardworking, you know. So it's like you kind of want that same environment and atmosphere to continue through your new workers, because that's a big reputation of the company.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely don't want to lose that. Pay-wise, another thing it looked like our employees had noticed was just that revenues had gone up even more. So obviously, one thing they wanted was better pay, at least back to where they were. I don't know if it's even a possibility in the future to move up a little bit more in pay, basically as a reward for kind of showing that, you know, look, you guys have really put the shoulder to the wheel on this one, made the company that much better.
So we are willing to like up your wages to kind of meet where they used to be. But if we do that, we want more control over the hiring and layoff decisions and our working rules.
Okay. Now, when you say the working rules, does that mean like as far as the supervisors down the floor, or just?
Yeah. One second. Let me see.
No worries. No worries. I guess just what I had seen is, and I don't know if all you guys agree, but the way it was done before, where it was, you know, kind of safety more by the line workers and everything, it just seemed to work a little bit more smoothly. So maybe we do give you guys a little bit more control over the hiring process, or, you know, the majority of control in the hiring process and everything. And we go back to trying it with how it used to be down the line a little bit more.
Okay, well, here's our concern. When you talk about the way things used to be done before, that was more along the lines of the incentive plan. Mm-hmm. And that was like trying to set quotas of like, hey, when we're done, we can go home or just kill for a couple hours. And that doesn't work with the way this new plant runs. The new plant runs nonstop. And that's what I think some of you guys are not happy about, because you're like, well, we feel like you feel like you're getting worked to death, but really you're not working any harder. The jobs are not any more demanding than the old system. In fact, the old system was far more demanding, where one guy can accomplish a lot more now at the press of buttons than what he had to do before, physically packing.
Oh, for sure.
And so, but that's where it's like, you guys say you're working more, and it's like, no, you're not necessarily working more. You know, you're working about the same. But nonetheless, you guys feel like you are being micromanaged. Now, through some of our previous readings and stuff, when we talked about some of the training programs, I'm actually open to trying to allow you guys to manage yourselves more. What I would like to do, though, is I want to set forth our rules first, so that our rules and our expectations are being met. But then I would like to have a team set up by you guys that can meet with us, and that way you guys can share your theories and brainstorm ideas on how things can improve. And I want you to know we're open to those improvements, so that as you guys prove to us that you guys find improvements, we'll allow that transition to come back to you. And we've seen that work for other companies as well. But as we try to get things in order right now, I want that control to be left to us, so that we're the ones being held responsible through management and expectations.
And I guess, sorry if I misunderstood it all. Initially, right? So when an employee comes on and is going through the training process and everything, you guys are the ones.
Initially, and that's just, I mean, that's more like just for like the whole company right now. We want full control, just to try to maintain or like get some consistency going right now. Believe me, the injuries, for example, that's unacceptable on every level, from us to you guys as well. And we feel like if we take full responsibility over training, how we want things done, and just try to get things rolling a little bit smoother. And then all of a sudden, if we can find some stability and some common ground, leisure room, and then at that point, then as you guys begin to really get comfortable and maybe find new ways to add improvement, that's where then we can begin talking about, okay, let's turn over some of the reins more to you guys. But right now, while everything's such in transition and everything's kind of a little chaotic, that's where we want to try to regain control of everything, try and make sure things are being run safer and at the best efficiency that we can.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, as long as there's maybe a future date that we're shooting for that our guys can look forward to and say, hey, as long as we're following it and showing that we can do it this way, we can have our way kind of back in the future.
Okay.
But I mean, I think at least appeasing the pay portion of everything for our guys would definitely settle down some tensions.
Well, and that's where if you guys agree, like, let us have the control for now of the hiring, layoffs, all that kind of stuff, we'll be more than happy to at least try to take care of you guys by giving you guys back that same pay of $10.69. That way you guys don't feel that pinch anymore. You guys don't feel the pressure to, have to work harder than what was originally agreed in our last contract. You guys won't feel that pressure anymore.
I think that's fair. What do you think on that, Kayla?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I liked what you were saying about. I think it makes sense for you guys to take more control over the hiring and layoffs, as long as it's like keeping in mind the workers that have been so loyal, But and also,
well,
I'm
going to throw this out there, and let me know if this works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Just so there's some peace of mind for the rehiring process, I would guarantee 50%. That guaranteed 50% of the time, if there's a layoff, they would be reconsidered for a rehire. Guaranteed 50%. It's not. We would not want to cut everybody loose and just let them go. Like you said, there's been a lot of good employees who know our system, have been true to the company for years, and we would like to try to keep that relationship good.
Right. Which I think is vital to your company's success, because this, like he's saying, it's the town is this company, and there's so many, like, the biggest reason that this company has stayed so profitable, even through all those hard times, is because of the workers, I think. And as it talks about that a lot in the reading, how the way they treat their workers has kept them alive and productive and profitable. So I think it's just, like, it's important to keep control and to work through all the new things that are happening in the new plant and everything, but to mostly focus, like, rather than on numbers, on, like, the human aspect of these people's lives,
Yeah.
But I agree that you should be able to take control of the hiring and everything. And I think it would be good to have the wages back at $10.69 and maybe consider even higher.
Well, that's something we can work to in the future.
Yeah.
For now, we'll definitely do the bump to the $10.69.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's something we got to throw to you guys. And I know this was really comfortable for you guys before, but it's really putting a strain on us and how we try to run things, is the 52-week layoff notice. Do you guys have a number in mind that you would be accepting for less? Because right now, for us try to adjust with times like we did before, when all of a sudden there was this huge crunch, and it was like, we need to try to make changes now, and we're not able to. That really made things difficult, and it really hurt us as a company. so we need to try to be able to be more flexible with that. Is there another time frame that you guys might be open to?
I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. I mean, 52 weeks, from my point of view as a person, seems a little bit excessive.
It's a year.
That's a long time to be getting notice that you're going to be laid off a year from now.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that. I don't know if the company would ever consider maybe changing that, going to more like a severance package that's not so long, but they can work on finding a new job during the time, or maybe it's cut down to 6 months. I don't know if that's still too long.
I didn't hear what was your severance package part?
Well, my severance package idea was just more like a, instead of giving them a year and saying you're going to be working here for a year, we're going to continue paying you for a year, and you know that you're going to be laid off, and maybe your morale is not so great. You have more like a 3 to however many month severance package, where during that time you go look for a different job, but we're kind of able to cut you loose that much faster.
Right.
It doesn't sound terrible.
And that's where we're trying to throw it to you guys. What is something you guys think you might be more open to?
I can't imagine our guys would have a problem with it being cut to 6 months. Half a year is still a long time to be notified beforehand that
Right.
you're going to be off.
Well, and I'll just throw this out. As you mentioned it, I like the idea of doing like a 3-month severance package. If you think that's something you guys might be open to.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you have any input on it, Kayla, obviously it's hard not like really being in their situation, but
Yeah.
a 3-month severance package is better than a lot of companies offer.
Yeah.
A lot of people offer nothing. You're gone.
People say you're done. Go find something else.
And with that, we've said too, hopefully, ideally, 50% of those, if they have the opportunity to come back, that's who we're turning to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One thing that's in the reading, it says
Yeah.
very strongly that the 52-week layoff should be retained. So I think, I mean,
I was wrong about that.
I mean, I do think it's pretty long, but I think it's something, it just talks about how they're protecting the long-standing members. That's like their goal with this 52-week layoff thing. And so if we're going to cut down, I think maybe like 9 months, that still seems like a lot, but I think that's something that the 190 would be okay with.
Or what if we did something like a 6-month notice, but the last 3 months could be more like a severance package, so they didn't have to work and they could focus that time on finding a new job. So they'd have 3 months working in the factory still as notice, and then 3 months to find the new job on their severance package.
I mean, I think it's hard without being able to kind of put that out there as a probe for the employees and kind of see how they even react to it. But that doesn't sound like a bad option to me at all. If that's doable on you guys' side. I just hope our employees wouldn't freak out and be like 52 all we'll settle for.
I just want to clarify. So, Jeremy, are you saying it's a 6-month total window, or is it a 6-month notice plus a 3-month severance package, or is it 3 and 3?
It's 3 and 3, 6 months total.
Okay.
I think that might be too short. I think you maybe do 6 and 3, make it 9.
And I might be open to maybe something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if the employee's time, instead of being at work 8 hours a day for the last 6 months, cut it down to 3 and say you don't have work, you're still getting paid. Devote that time full time to finding a job. frees you guys up a little bit faster.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be cool with it if that sounds good to you, Kayla.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
I know as an employee, I feel like I'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
No.
But
No, yeah, I think that sounds good.
I think.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, so far, just bumping the wage up back up to 1069, and then instead of 12 months, we do 6 months and then a 3-month severance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Safety, obviously, you guys said you'd take basically heading up the training portion of it now,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
just focus
And
more so on safety and I guess getting new hires trained properly.
then once everyone's comfortable with that, we can let you guys have a little more freedom in the workspace.
Yeah, and I think that'd be perfect.
And then we're gonna take hiring and layoff decisions. We're gonna take control of that, but we'll promise that when we do rehire, we'll hit 50% of the rehire opportunities will go to people that we've laid off previously.
I definitely think that's a good compromise. It's a good meeting in the middle right there. Can you guys think of any other main points of contention or dissatisfaction?
I think I'm trying to look over it real quick, and I think that's touched off on all the points we need.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty good middle ground. And they're still keeping their benefits package, their holidays.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's the very least we could do.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
I think that's fair.
So I think that's everything we need.
Okay.
This was quite the discussion this week.
Yes, it is.
A little different, that's for sure.
Yeah. It was interesting. Like, I was nervous because on our end, like, our top management was being very, like, they didn't care to cut ties.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, so our final statement is we could shut down the plant completely. We could try to run the plant with management employees on a reduced basis. We could hire temporary replacements for strikers who elect to stay out, or we could hire permanent replacements for strikers who elect to stay out, any combination of these. The result would be a lot of bad press, but it would also mean hiring non-union employees up to 5 hours less per hour. And it's just like,
Wow.
ouch.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy that like this kind of stuff really reality for a lot of these companies is crazy.
That's true.
You know, and it's so interesting because it's like I'm currently covered. Hang on, let me make sure. I just want to make sure we're done because I can stop this recording.
Yeah, no worries. I think as long as that final contract's written up, I think we're set to go.
All right, yeah, I think that's it.
Sweet.
It's kind of interesting. because all right, so I think we're set. I'll go ahead and stop.
Okay.